This story starts when I was a baby. I've always had a love affair of animals, and I'm really not even sure why, with a special affinity towards snakes. But before we get into that, I'm heading into my shop, BHB Reptiles, that I've ran for almost 30 years. I go to the shop every day that I'm in town, just like I'm doing now. But back to when I was a kid, I don't know what it was. It really started with an obsession of dinosaurs. When I was a kid, I couldn't get enough about dinosaurs. Every birthday and every Christmas, all I wanted were little toy dinosaurs and things to read. Books, magazine, coloring books, whatever it was. I was obsessed with dinosaurs. But that was when I was 2, 3, 4 years old. By the time I was 5 years old, my obsession went to the outdoors. And that's right, there was a little patch of woods that I used to visit every single day looking for, you guessed it, snakes. I used to hunt snakes constantly. But there was one problem. My mom was fearful of snakes, and she wouldn't allow them in the house. So every time I was out in the wild looking for snakes and catching them, the only thing I could do was put them in my garage in a big box that my mom allowed me to keep them in. It didn't even have a lid. Nevertheless, every day I would catch as many snakes as I could, and I'd bring them home and I would set them up in the garage, and I would take care of them for the entire summer long. Unfortunately, at the end of the summer and those cool fall days, my mom would make me release those snakes, and that was the saddest day of the year for me, knowing that I'd have to wait all the way till the spring thaw before I could find my friends again. But that's how my obsession really started, never knowing that it was going to take me to where I am today. Although my first memory as a kid was when I was 2 years old, and it was of a snake, actually a ball python at the Belle Isle Zoo in Detroit. I didn't really get to realize the full extent of that passion until I turned 15 years old. And that's when I got a job at a local pet shop named The Pet Vendor. They had a small reptile section, and I was in charge of it. Unfortunately, one of our suppliers was a local guy named Mark Bell that bred a few snakes on the side to make a little extra money. I became friends with Mark, and he started to teach me about breeding snakes. That's when I knew what my career choice was going to be. Right then, I thought this was my opportunity to work with animals. After all, my entire life, all I wanted to do was be surrounded by animals, and now I knew how I could actually achieve it. For the next couple years, I worked at Pet Shop, growing a small collection of snakes that I finally convinced my mom to allow me to have in her basement. It wasn't until I was 18 years old that it actually became a little business. And that's when I started BHB Reptiles. Now, a lot of people want to know, what does BHB stand for? Quite simply, it's just my initials, Brian Henry Barczyk. But for the next 20 years, I poured all of my energy into growing my collection of reptiles, becoming one of the largest collections in the world with tens of thousands of snakes, producing so many snakes and shipping them all over the world, from people that wanted a pet snake to the pet shops to other breeders that were aspiring to do what I did. That was my passion. That's what drove me. Every single day, all I wanted to do was get into my collection, grow my collection, get the next project, the next coolest snake, work with as many animals as I can. That was what drove me every single day. During that 20 years, there was plenty of huge successes coupled with plenty of failures. But the fact was, I still had a vision, and that vision was to just work with animals and to grow and be able to provide people with the best quality animals so their experience would be as good as my experience. You know, the fact is that those early years for me, when my mother was so afraid of snakes, and not just my mom, but my aunts and uncles hated snakes so much, that changed me for a second. It was always in me that I needed to change people's perception of animals, but it started to really bubble up in me. And I felt I needed to do something to fulfill that void that I felt growing in me. I needed to reach people, and that's when the next chapter started in my life. Way back almost 10 years ago, I started SnakeBytesTV. I didn't really know where I wanted that vision to go at the moment. I just knew I wanted to reach people with my love and passion for all animals, but in particular, snakes. In those early years, I'm gonna be honest, we were kind of just figuring our way out. We had a lot of fun, we made a lot of mistakes, but we gained a lot of new viewers. And that's what continued to grow that passion to reach people. Each day that went by, it grew larger and larger. Waking up in the morning and reading comments of people telling me that they used to be fearful of snakes, but now they had a curiosity and sometimes even turned into a passion and a love of snakes. That's what started to drive me. And every day that went by, I wanted to reach more people and more people. And although I still wanted to work with my snakes and I still love every minute I spend with my animals, the truth is that passion continued to just boil up in me to reach people. As this channel grew, so did my passion to continue to reach people. You know, I've been fortunate in life to always find things that I'm really passionate about, and I know a lot of people really struggle with that. You know, they wake up in the morning and they think, what do I want to do with my life? What am I interested in? What am I going to be passionate about? And I've always said that you should follow that passion no matter what it is, whether it's working with animals or fixing cars or creating websites or whatever it is that you wake up in the morning and go, oh my God, I want to do it, because life is just too short not to go that direction. I've been fortunate to find my passion for animals, but also find my passion to try to reach people with a message, and that's what's kept me going. So I am curious to you guys, what are you passionate about? Tell me down below. I love to learn about you guys. Let me know in the comments what you're passionate about. Is it animals or is it something else? Regardless of what it is, keep pursuing that passion. After almost 10 years of balancing this large collection of reptiles and this growing need to fulfill this passion of reaching people with this awesome message about the love of wildlife, I finally made a risky business decision. BHB Reptiles was making a lot of money and continues to make money, but it was taking away a lot of time from what I really wanted to do. And that doesn't mean that I don't want to continue to work with animals, but what it means is I wanted to put more time into making videos, traveling for animal adventure, and reaching people not only through this medium, but also face to face. So I decided to downsize my business. We went and sold about 60% of our collection off over a 12-month window, sold our building, and moved into a smaller and more manageable place. Now, we still have tons and tons of animals, and I still love coming to the shop every day and working and seeing those animals. That's not gonna stop. I'll never change that part of my life. But now I have more time to dedicate to the things that I was starting to really need to want to do. More time to make videos. And of course, now the next chapter was to start a vlogging channel. So every day I put a video about my life, not only as a reptile breeder and an animal lover, but also as a family man and an adventurer. You can follow that vlog if you want to. I'll put a link in the description. Regardless, this is the next chapter, to be able to make videos every single day to reach people and try to convince people that animals, and snakes in particular, are amazing animals. And if they see how passionate and how much I love them, maybe they'll give those animals a chance. And that is what it was all about from the beginning. Now, I have a lot of big plans coming up in the future, which have been afforded to me not only with the success of the videos, but also the fact that now I have more time on my hands because I don't have such a large collection of animals. Although most people would say it's still pretty darn large, and even I think maybe it's a little large right now. But the truth is, now that I have more time, I have a lot of future plans. And hey guys, I'm a big time dreamer. My dreams are massive, so the future is going to be really bright, and I hope you'll join me along the way through these channels, both Snake Bites and my vlog channel. My life is complex. It's always exciting. My plans are extremely big, and I will not rest until I reach as many people as I can, preaching the tolerance for wildlife across the board. Listen guys, anyone that thinks that now that I'm so passionate about vlogging means I might neglect the Snake Bites channel is completely wrong. I'm more passionate ever about putting out content, not only for this channel, but also my other channel. I love what I'm doing, and I'm energized, and I'm going to continue to do it because this is what I love, working with animals and sharing that love with you guys. So don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. As a matter of fact, you're going to see even more of me coming up in the future. I have a lot of really cool ideas. And again, I hope you'll join me on both channels for this amazing journey. I'm not really sure what the future holds, but I know it's going to be awesome. And as always, I'm Facebooking, tweeting, Instagramming, and Snapchatting my way through things. So follow me over at SnakeBytesTV. And until next week, I hope you'll stay as passionate as I am about animals. You've been watching Snake Bites.